Good evening, friends. Thank you for joining me every evening to follow what's happening in India and abroad. And thank you for sending me your useful comments and suggestions. If you believe in this channel, to share it with your friends and spread the message. Our only mission is to bring you the truth and both sides of the story. Thank you for your support. Today, we have Mr. Venkatesh back with us. Welcome, Mr.
Namaste.
Yeah. We know you've been very busy being a budget period. You've been on all the channels, Emma. And before we start off this session, could you tell us what you personally think about the budget this year?
See, the budget has two parts. One is called Part A and one is called Part B. Part A was futuristic. Part A was absolutely dazzling. Here was the finance minister, unlike previous ones who were like finance ministers of some panchayat. She talked about blockchain technology. She talked about infrastructure. She talked about seamless integration of various infrastructure facilities, interlinking of rivers, digital currency, cryptocurrencies, taxation of cryptocurrencies. No, she was on a totally different pedestal. But just as I thought she's going to make some phenomenal advancement, on Part B, then she degenerates. I don't know for what reason. It was like watching, a very nice movie in a theater, and suddenly somebody spits pan parag. She suddenly comes and talks about raising extra custom duty on umbrella from to 20%. Ridiculous. So I would say this budget on Part A is on 21st century. Part B is of 20th century. And the way they have amended the laws, it is of the 19th century. So you have pieces of 19th century, you have pieces of 20th century, you have visions of 21st century. I leave it at that because I have conveyed what I have to convey about the budget.
So here, before we continue, Emma, does that mean that they don't take any sort of advice from people around them? I mean, I'm not talking about the people working with them. I'm talking about businessmen and people who are, who know the situation in India.
See, to some extent, this government is reluctant to take feedback. Like they want only positive feedback. They don't want to hear any negativity, anything. I'm not even saying this is negative. I'm only laying bare that this is what it is. They don't want to do any introspection. They don't want to do correction. They believe that we have given you and we have done the best, and all of you are duty bound to do, sing hosnas and praises of the budget and leave it at that. Take it or leave it. This is their attitude. There is no intermediary or intermediate discussions on the budget.
Okay. Going to Maharashtra, it looks like Maharashtra has become completely an orphan. There is no chief minister to be seen. We don't know who's ruling. On Republic Day, there was a shot of the CM standing in front of the flag as if he was punished and with his wife and son. Do you think that was a file shot, or do you think he was actually standing there?
See, I didn't see that, but from what I could understand from people, it was a file shot. It was not or probably it was done with some camera tricks or photoshopping or whatever you call it. So we don't have a standing chief minister in Maharashtra, and what we have is somebody who is standing on his behalf, and we don't know who it is. It could be somebody from Matoshri itself. So we don't know who is.
Yeah, apparently someone, I think, said something about Mrs. Thackeray, something about her, and that person is being arrested.
Yeah, so we shouldn't speak anything ill about Maharashtra. Otherwise, the most secular, democratic, progressive, liberal government may issue an arrest warrant. So I would not say anything that would enrage Mr. Thackeray, Master Thackeray, anybody. So they are all good people, great people. So they are all very great Democrats. They are all wonderful people. So we should not unnecessarily get into the wrong side of law and spend a few nights in jail in Maharashtra.
Okay. Anyway, the next question is about that only. Now, Parambir Singh has opened up a Pandora's box by naming Anil Deshmukh, as the person who instructed him, and also Uddhav Thackeray and Aditya Thackeray, under whose instructions he reinstated Sachin Vazia on June 6th. He also claimed that Wazi had briefed him about the expectations of 100 crore rupees, and Singh had advised him to not succumb to pressure. This can heat the political situation of the state, provided that it hints towards corruption by top office bearers. Now, this is a very big,
Revelation.
revelation by Parambir Singh. And also, there's one more point I just wanted to. He also said that the TRP case was a huge hoax. So there are two things that have come out of Parambir Singh's mouth.
So,
Emma.
so the first thing that I could understand is he has given these evidences to the enforcement directorate, and these are not statements given to the police. When you give a statement to the police, we all know it is not an evidence. But when you give a statement to the enforcement directorate, officer of the enforcement directorate, it may not be exactly an evidence, but it is almost an evidence under section 52 and 53 of the PMLA Act. So that's number one. Number two, what it implies? It implies that the TRP matter was being rigged up, and this is not merely linked to Maharashtra politicians. Understand this. They would have no reason to fix Arnab in a TRP scandal. They might want to fix Arnab for something else. That's entirely different. But this was done at the behest of some channels which were in competition with Arnab, and they used their good officers and friends in the offices of the Chief Minister of Maharashtra. And then the Maharashtra Chief Minister uses the Commissioner of Police of Mumbai as a mercenary, as a hatchetman, and he goes a dirty job on Arnab. So I think the game is all over. It's game, set, and match for Arnab. I think the TRP scandal, the first leg is very clearly opened up. It's opening up a Pandora's box at the political level. But at a corporate war level, we have to open one more layer. At whose behest and at what cost was Parambir Singh being directed by the Thakres, by Anil Deshmukh and others to act in a particular manner in this TRP scam? So Parambir was not, yes, I think he is irrelevantly neutral towards Arnab. He may neither love him nor hate him. But he did this job as a hatchetman. Now look at it. Look at it. Here is an IPS officer, a senior most IPS officer, who is the commissioner of Mumbai, one of the biggest, perhaps the biggest city in the country, says that I arrested somebody or went and created this scam, without a let or fear or shame. Even, the system has absolutely collapsed in Maharashtra. It is, and by this time, if central government has some sense, I think they should place him under suspension and probably see to that he's retired and all his perks are handed over, and we must get rid of this type of obnoxious creatures in our public system, because this is an affront on the policing of the state. The second leg is to fix Arnab on the false murder charge, which he used Vaze and others. And I think that I'm not sure whether he has alluded to in his statement, but I'm sure this is a part of the entire design. Fix Arnab. Fix Arnab, I'm sure Thackeray and Anil Deshmukh may have got a partial political reason, but that is not their end game. There is some corporates behind Anil Deshmukh, behind the Thackeray's, which has used them as puppets. And they in turn have used Parambir as a puppet. And so we have to go to the master puppeter. We want to know who is the master puppeter. Unless that also, is brought down, unless we track that, this story is only half finished.
Yeah. Also, there could be a hint that, you remember, Sonia Gandhi was also very upset because he kept calling her Antonio Maino.
No, it could be anybody. It could be the Congress party chief, Antonio Maino herself. It could be anybody. But the Thackeray's were used in this. This is my surmise. I may be wrong also. But I am very clear that Thackeray's have been used, and Thackeray's were acting as mercenary for somebody else. That is the point that I want to make it.
Yeah, right. So Renash is asking, I have a question for sir. Why our system is so poor that now we as a common people are scared of lawmakers.
Now, when you mean lawmaker, do you mean the police or do you mean the MPs and the MLAs? Actually, technically,
Politicians,
MP.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. We are scared of the politicians because the politicians don't have time for you. Please understand. It's not that they hate you or love you and hence they deal with you accordingly. No, they don't have time for you. Good or bad, they are in their own world making money. The levels of corruption. If Anil Deshmukh's saga is to be believed, Parambir has given a statement. Vaze has given a statement. They were all compelled to raise 100 crores per month from small businesses in Bombay. Look at the amount of money they will be collecting. These are being collected from restaurants. These are being collected from bars. These are collected from hotels, small businesses, all of whom are paying a combined tax of 3 crores every day in one city of Bombay. And I'm sure this is happening
Yeah.
all over the country. The magnitude may be different, but this is happening. Now, suppose you and I enter a restaurant, try to have an idli or a masala dosa, it costs 70 rupees. Understand, 20 rupees is for Vaze to pay to Parambir, to pay to Anil Deshmukh. So you have
Okay.
to say that beyond the GST
Why
and
can't they
SGST,
just say that it's the cost of the idli
it could be
or
as much
extra
as that.
idli?
Understand how much we are getting taxed. We are not, we crib about Nirmala Sitharaman not getting down on taxes, but at the same time, we don't bother about the Vaze tax and the Parambir tax and the Anil Deshmukh tax that is thrust on us at every twist and turn.
Yeah. Karthik is asking you, sir, with regards to the budget, what you say about the center is surprising. Does it mean the government is becoming self-indulgent?
See, I have a strong belief. It doesn't mean that they are wrong. They don't want to have any feedback. They believe what they are doing is correct, and they don't want to be unnecessarily be criticized. And this government is very touchy to outside people giving any information or any suggestion. They say, "हमको सब मालूम है, हम देख लेंगे. आप अपना काम कर दीजिए, बस." So they are very polite and they are very clear that they don't want to get too much of thought. If you want, please praise us. If you don't want, keep quiet.
Here, I'd just like to make a comment, Mari. See, for some time, because I like the way Yogi ji, is handling UP, I've been asking whether I could get an interview with Yogi ji. Now, straight away from somewhere, I got a reply, no, you can't. Okay. Then somebody else who's closer to him, I asked him, so he said he'll manage, he'll try to. That also didn't happen. Now it went to another source and they asked me, would you like to interview? Okay. So I said, yes, and then after all the details went, again, no answer. So, what I have come to understand is that they don't mind giving interviews to every Tom, Dick and Harry, but not to people who are actually, supporting what he is doing. So what is the meaning of it? Are you scared that questions will be asked that you may not like? And I'm sure Yogi ji is bold enough to answer them also. I don't understand. It's very sort of depressing to even think about that.
Meenakshi, shall I tell you something?
Yeah.
The problem with these people is in fact, this morning we had a budget meeting in Madras Chamber. Yesterday we had it in FKCCI Bangalore. Day before yesterday we had it in Bangalore Chamber. Last night we had it at the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Dubai. So I've been to all these places sitting in the same chair, thanks to COVID. So we are able to use the technology to the utmost. At every twist and turn, at every place, Part B of the budget has come for extraordinary scrutiny, and people who know the subject, meaning chartered accountants and lawyers, have ripped apart Part B, and they said this is not the way it can be done. But they are so touchy that nobody, if you want to talk to them, they say they don't want to talk, you don't want to listen. So that's why we have also stopped criticizing this government. So karne do, apna karne do. So they let them. Okay. And as far as you are interviewing Yogi ji is concerned, is expected. Not because that you are not a supporter, but the fact of the matter is you will ask intelligent questions. The problem is you will probe, and when you You would not let go of Yogi ji just because he has come to your channel. You would, on the contrary, you will grill him, and this is what worries them, that they don't want to be asked about any questions.
They should have, they should have confidence in Yogi ji. That is the most important thing.
And
He gets out of any situation. He can answer anything, very well.
yes, obviously,
Yeah, yeah. I've seen the way NDTV, Prannoy Roy and all try to, corner him. He very well knows how to answer these people. Anyway,
yes.
now
But
moving on to Samaj. Yeah,
Pranara is more acceptable than you. That is the important message.
yeah, they go there more often. Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Samajwadi Party workers have been raising anti-national, pro-Pakistan slogans during a rally in Kanpur, and the party pins the blame on BJP. And this video has gone rather viral. Ahead of the high-octane assembly election in UP, a video has gone viral on social media on Friday, wherein Samajwadi workers are heard raising pro-Pakistan and anti-national slogans. The footage is said to be from Kanpur, where the party supporters held a rally in favor of SP candidate Munindra Shukla, who's running for the assembly seat of Pithur. In the video, which is being circulated, the SP cadres are heard saying "Pakistan banana hai, cycle ka button dabana hai," which roughly translate to "Pakistan has to be made, cycle button has to be pressed." And also, not forgetting the fact that, see, they've also put a lot of the criminal candidates, for in different places.
Uh, Meena that you must know, Azam Khan, probably when he was just around 10, 15 years old, in 1965, when our army was moving, he dug out roads so that the army movement during the 1965 war could be stalled.
Oh,
Okay. This is the pedigree of a person who at that time was barely in his teens. You people may not know, Mulayam Singh, as a defense minister, wanted to hand over some 100 crores of rupees or something like that to Pakistan for some account. I just don't recall what was the. He was the defense minister of India during Devagowda's regime. You must
yeah,
understand what type of perils this nation has undergone even after independence. Okay, so Pakistan Banana Hai is a slogan of several people in this country. I have no issues with that, but I have serious problem with political party supporters during election rallies, that they make it a very big slogan during elections, and they also want our taxes, our benefits. They also swear allegiance to the constitution while taking oath. And these are all people who have been in power. They have been the
yeah,
defense minister. His father has been the defense minister. He himself has been the chief minister for 5 years. And God forbid if there is a coalition government at the center, Samajwadi Party will have its own say. So all these things are crucial, that pointers that this is not a small or a fringe party. I can understand some party in Mizoram or in distant Kashmir talking about this. This is the heart of the heart. This is the heart. UP is the heart of India. And
yeah,
if this type of slogans are being branded during election processes, it tells a very sorry state of the affairs in UP. Unfortunately, we don't have a law for raising these type of seditious slogans. During elections, we don't find fault with them. We believe that our courts tend to believe that these are all only slogans and freedom of speech is there. But I think this it is genetic makeup of these people who are absolutely seditious that comes into play, and that is what it is. And this is the sorry state of affairs of this country.
yeah. Recently, I don't know whether you noticed the video. There was a video of Smriti actually going and touching Mulayam Singh's feet. And did
Yes.
you see Mulayam Singh's reaction? He just told her to move, move, because as it is, he can't walk. You know?
Mm.
And he was getting down the steps. I mean, I don't understand what. Why are they doing all this? I mean, why do they need his blessings at all? What are they trying to show?
No, it is not. It is not for Mulayam's blessings. It is for a photo op. That I am so humble
Ah,
and
exactly.
I
Yeah,
and I
that's the kind of image.
at the image building that even for Mulayam we may have ideological differences, we may
Yeah,
have political differences, but वो तो बुजुर्ग हैं, हमको आशीर्वाद करेंगे, उनके आशीर्वाद की दरकार है, उनके आशीर्वाद लेकर ही हम आगे बढ़ाएंगे और उनको डिफीट करेंगे. ये who will give you आशीर्वाद to defeat
brilliantly said.
you are not Bhima and Bhishma and Drona of Mahabharata, where they used to say Vijay Bhava to Arjuna to shoot arrows. Those type of things are not to be expected of these type of lumpen elements. See, let us be very clear. Samajwadi Party, DMK, these are some of the parties who have absolute, shall I say, vociferous tendency. They are a vociferous tendency incarnate. So to give them a veneer of respectability is actually demeans you.
Yes, exactly. Demeaning yourself.
It's demeaning yourself. And she goes, I don't know what is Smritiji's compulsions, but to me, to take an Ashirwad from Mulayam Singh may not be appropriate and may not be in good taste.
Yeah. Okay. Nisha Thomas is asking, can you ask about the shooting at Owaisi's car?
See, I didn't follow this news because I
Yeah.
don't follow all news, especially last 4 days. I've been before this type of, I didn't even go for my walk. So every thing has been riveted on the budget. So I'm sorry I will not be able to answer without knowing anything. Today, since you pinged me about the questions that you're going to ask, I was
Yeah.
prepared at least on the other side.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry I don't know what about, I don't want to comment on something that I don't know.
Tulip is asking you, MR sir
Mhm.
comes on Arnab's debates. Can you tell us why Republic stopped covering Sushant's case progress?
Okay. First thing, I'm not speaking for Arnab. So I come in his debates. I don't own the channel. I'm not in the editorial team. So I can't answer for Arnab.
Yeah.
Now, but again, I tell you, all of us are concerned. Even I'm concerned about it. But does it mean that every day I have to raise it or something like that? Yeah, we are all worried about the fallout of the case. And I think on Mina's channel, I expressed my opinion several times over. And I'm sure Arnab will also take it up if there is some development. Supposing there is a CBI who comes and says somebody is guilty or this is a suicide, whatever it's fighting. I don't want to second guess it. But if that's going to be the development, see, channels also have to move forward. They have to keep their audiences engrossed. They can't be flogging a dead horse. They have to move forward. But at the same time, if there is any development, I'm sure Arnab will be the first fellow to take it up and create a big ruckus out of it. Knowing Arnab very well, he was one of those guys who was at the forefront of this campaign. And but for his support, I don't think so. This case would have seen the light of the day, at least at that point in time when he pushed it to the CBI.
Yeah. Nisha is also saying, also, sir, comment on Papu's recent speech.
Now, you must understand there is something in this budget for mental health. They are using some program for those who are mentally afflicted. I know for a fact this has been as a sop to the Sayan of the Gandhi family, Nehru Gandhi family, because he is suffering from a serious delusion. The delusion is that if I can't rule India, I will exploit every fault line in this country instead of allowing the old wounds to heal, and I will see to that these fault lines are exploited. And he has latched on to this issue of federalism, and that's a very big issue in Tamil Nadu. Always Tamil Nadu politicians play this victim cards, and one of the victimhood narrative is that we are governed by Delhi. We don't have enough federalism, and of late the central government is addressed as Union of States.
States. Yeah.
Okay, Ondriya Arasu. They don't want to say it as a Madhya Arasu.
Yeah.
They want to say it Ondriya Arasu, meaning it is a union of states, meaning that we are ranked pari passu, we rank equal with the central government. So you can't command me, I can't command you. So you bloody well don't disturb or interfere into our affairs, and we will know how to govern our own affairs. And one of the boiling points or breaking point between the center-state relationship is the NEET examination. All the other states and union territories have accepted NEET, but since Tamil Nadu politicians have heavily invested in medical colleges, private medical colleges, they feel that NEET is an issue. So repeatedly they have gone about asking for NEET. This is despite Mrs. Chidambaram arguing in the Supreme Court for the NEET. At that time, NEET was brought in by the Manmohan Singh government. NEET cannot be undone. This is as per the Supreme Court directions. Even then, Tamil Nadu government got a study done by an ex-judge on the socio-justice impact on NEET, and then subsequently they passed an act that the governor has returned back. I think yesterday he returned back. He said, I can't do much about it because the Supreme Court has looked into all dimensions, and he has returned back the bill. Now, probably again they will pass it in the assembly and again do it. This is sheer machoism, this is sheer parochialism, this is sheer fissiparous tendency masquerading as federalism. Going back to the issue of federalism in the Constitution Assembly debate, it was very clearly said India is neither unitary nor is it a union of states. There is a union of states, but it is also has a unitary character, and the unitary character is what will bind all the states to the center. And between a conflict of law between the center and the state, it is the center's law that will prevail on the state. So it's absolutely clear. Any student of constitution will tell you. But politicians are politicians. In Punjab, it is so bole, jo bole so nihal. In Tamil Nadu, jo hyperbole so nihal. So it is the chaos of hyperbullying.
An interesting point that Raj says, which I also think is very true. I think Owaisi's own people fired at the wheels of his car to divert attention and gain sympathy, and he got Z security. This is what we also feel. Okay, in Noida.
I think, Meena, I should give you some toy gun and ask you to fire at my car's wheels and let me see if you get it.
Okay. In Noida, an IT raid on premises of ex-IPS officer who's very close to Samajwadi Party, and they recovered cash worth several crores. The cash, which was in currencies of rupees 2,500 and rupees 200, were found stashed in over 600 lockers in Singh's Sector 50 residence in Noida. On February 1st, the IT department officials carried out this raid of a former Indian police services officer in Noida Sector 50 and recovered all this. The ex-IPS officer, Ram Narayan Singh, is said to be closely associated with the Samajwadi Party. Now, not only this, Emma, even in Punjab, that they have also, arrested the chief minister's nephew also, for questioning. So, can you speak about this, Emma?
The BJP's track record of arresting and getting the corrupt people is exemplary, except it comes with two caveats. One, it is done usually before elections, and after elections it is forgotten. So we would have take the elections in Bihar, Tamil Nadu, or Uttar Pradesh last time, or Delhi. You would find the same thing happening again and again and again.
Yeah.
Now, after 8 years, I come to a conclusion that Modi ji does not bother about corruption. Otherwise, Narada, Sarada in West Bengal, you take the CWG scams, the 2G scams, all of that which happened during the Congress regime somehow seemed to meander out, and we were all made to look like fools after 10 years that we alleged the corruption on Congress. But till date, BJP came to power and promised that it will take these people to the gallows. But unfortunately, nothing has happened. The long and short of it is these raids are, in my view, political gimmicks, and this will remain as one. This is probably to cut the money flow of Samajwadi Party, and that's all they want. They want to capture power by doing this. I'm sure the same once money will be confiscated or attached, and then they will business as usual. The IPS officer need not fear about imprisonment, conviction, and other thing. Nothing will happen to him. I can assure him straight away, given the track record of the BJP.
Yeah. Chandrika is asking, sir, could you please shed light on the prospects of BJP in upcoming Goa elections?
Yes. To me, way I have discussed this election, I have not spoken to Savio. He's a good friend of mine. I think I should touch base with him shortly. Probably tomorrow, day after, I will try to do it. It looks like the edge is with the BJP, but getting 20 seats all by itself is a tall order. It may have to go for some post-poll alliances and or some support from people who are standing as independents. Goa elects has a funny habit of electing 3 or 4 independents, and the former defense minister's son is one of them, who is also contesting. And as an independent, I'm told, probably he may win also in from that constituency. And if he wins, he may even extend support to the BJP. But that will be huge. Shall I say, egg on the face of the BJP, the local BJP, which shunned him. Parekar's son was supposed to be a very clean guy and a young guy. Probably this is the
something I can't understand, MR. I
Yes.
don't know why they did it, because Manohar Parikar has contributed to India more than any other person has contributed in the Modi government.
Yes.
And even
Okay.
while having sickness, he was still working with the tube in his nose.
Yeah, I agree with you, and if this chap is a competent chap, and I guess he is a competent chap, because I'm sure he would be a competent chap. I don't see why the BJP was shying away from giving ticket to him, and the person to whom they have given ticket is alleged to be a rapist, alleged to be a rapist, and
My God.
some sort of. At least if you are given to another politician heavyweight, I can say that we have taken a political decision. But you give to a rapist and then try to say that this is what we are doing. I think the BJP is slowly and steadily becoming a version of Congress.
Okay, Chitra is saying, we are worried about the TN government and they're being partial to non-Hindus.
Well, Chitra, you must understand, we had the AIDMK government, which was ruling for the last 10 years. From 12 to 22, we had 21. We had the AIDMK government, and it was being supported by BJP from 2016 after the AIDMK Jayalalitha's demise, and there was almost like it was BJP run AIDMK government. Tell me, couldn't we have finished Stalin and others who have so much of corruption cases, 2G cases? Then now we wreck it on ourselves that we allow these people, we say they are corrupt, then we don't do anything when our opportunity is given. Do you think people will vote you again? And to do what? You again want to do a politics by which you want to sustain Stalin. And as I said, Meena, last time, there is very much a possibility, though I don't say that it is a distinct possibility. I'm saying a good possibility that DMK could align with the BJP. This can happen also. So this you may be worried about Hindus, non-Hindus, Hindus being given a short shrift, this caste being given a short shrift, that given a short shrift. All these things are acceptable only up to a point. Beyond it, politicians are politicians. They move. There is no permanent enemy or friends. There is no ideological enemy or friends in India.
Similar to what's happening in Maharashtra, in Kerala, the government suspends an employee for sharing a video of CM Pinarayi Vijayan dressed in shirt and trousers in Dubai. A video has gone viral on social media in which Pinarayi Vijayan has been seen exiting from Dubai airport wearing a full-sleeve white shirt nearly tucked into his black trousers instead of his usual attire of dhoti and shirt. And in a brazen display of power, the government has suspended an employee working in Kerala's General Administration Department for sharing the video of the chief minister's dressed in this manner in Dubai. According to the reports, the video which went viral, where he's seen in this manner, the person who's shared it, his name is A. Manikuttan. An employee working as an attendant had reportedly shared the particular video in WhatsApp group of government attendants in the state secretariat. Now he had allegedly also criticized the chief minister in a message shared on WhatsApp. Angered by this message, the Kerala government served a suspension order to Manikuttan, claiming that he had tarnished the chief minister's image.
What do you say of such a tolerant, liberal, democratic chief minister who was, after all, shot wearing something? He was not shot without wearing something. He was shot. Okay.
Yeah.
This is the mindset of these politicians. They have a very carefully cultivated image, and that image they want to preserve. This India is not going to tolerate this type of rubbish. This India, you want politicians who have to go. You want to wear a trouser, you wear a trouser. You want to wear a suit, you wear a suit. You want to wear a totally desi dress, you wear a desi dress. No, nothing wrong. As long as you are comfortable and get the job done, India is not going to brood on your dressing sense or lack of it.
Yeah.
But this shows the ability of this chief minister, whom I consider as a huge rogue in Kerala politics. And like Azam Khan, this guy has also a colorful history.
Yeah.
And it was one police officer. And when he was aged around 25, when Pinarayi was aged around 25, he arrested him. And today that police officer is now sitting as the national security advisor to the country. And Ajit Dovalji would know this man's history for the last 60 years. And that's what it is. So let us not expect anything better from these type of uncivil leaders. And Kerala has to pay a price for electing these type of maniacs.
Yeah. You remember, MR, there was such a big case against him, his daughter, and his son-in-law about the gold smuggling case. It just dissolved. Nothing came out of that.
Exactly. That was because it came before the election. And once the elections are over, then it is a no case. As I told you, that what is her name? I forgot that lady also who was arrested, who was shuttling between Dubai and Kerala.
Yeah.
You also forgot it.
Yeah.
So I'm not the only one to forget. And the BJP also forgot it. See, this is how clever the BJP. Now, this police officer has to only look at that lady for inspiration. So after 3-4 years, he will also get 700 lockers and other things. He will also be forgotten.
Yeah. Parikar's constituency could have preferred his son to an outsider with a criminal record, and even Savio was against him.
Yes, Savio was dead against him. I think his name is Monsanto or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know much about
local. Right. Montesat.
Montesat. Okay. Now this guy is supposed to have involved in some rape, and Savio was.
Do you think, MR, this was all sort of supervised by Fadnavis?
I don't know whether Fadnavis had a hand in this or not, but it will be extremely interesting to see that this gentleman Montesat is elected, and Savio also getting elected. And if this gentleman becomes the minister or something like that, and I want to see how my good friend Savio will react. But that is the perils of being in politics.
Yeah, exactly.
Her name is Swapna. Yeah, I can see that.
Swapna, yes.
Yeah. Swapna Suresh.
Yeah. Chandrika is saying TMC and AAP parties should be considered as political tourists. They are outsiders, and their candidates should not get any votes from the goers.
No. Both of them are doing a very clever one. There is enormous amount of Bangladeshi settlement happening there. Both of them are voting for such Bangladeshi voters who are illegal migrants who have migrated and got something there and got into Goa. So when AAP and TMC are there, it's not that they are just trying to fish in dry waters. They are definitely doing that. That they are seeing that there is a potency, and they are trying to do this. And this will go to the wire. I'm telling you, Goa elections will go to the wire.
Yeah. Okay, so coming back again to the budget, Emma, you say that, see, they do not take, they don't want to take good advice or any sort of
No,
criticism.
they don't want to take feedback. I'm not saying
Yeah,
good
feedback.
advice. They don't
Yeah.
want to take feedback.
So, earlier, you remember, just my question to you is that I remember many times Nirmala has come, on social media saying that, see, all your suggestions will be taken into account before we consider the budget. So
Yeah.
apparently nothing is being considered then.
See, I won't say nothing is considered, but I had a very funny call when I was starting to look at the budgets. It was in 2001, very closely. So that was the pre-budget discussion. Usually they used to have a pre-budget discussion. See, the budget papers would have gone for printing somewhere around first week of January.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a very secretive one. Below the North Block, there is a printing press, and they go. Nowadays, they don't print it because it's digital for the last 2 years. But even then, the whole thing is done below the North Block in a secret chamber. Nothing is known to the outside world. In fact, those who go and print it, they are locked in the whole, office, the printing office for 10-15 days. Incidentally, there is a rumor, a very funny story, that one of the guys who had gone in, they can't even phone, IB keeps track of them, so they can't do anything. So food and water comes to them, and they all go aground, and they come back only on first of that time. It used to be 28th of February.
And after some prasad.
So this guy who had gone in, his daughter has eloped with somebody.
Got it.
Okay. So the IB had to stand guard and capture those, young couple, and they would not allow the marriage, or marriage had happened, but other things, the wedding night would not happen till the father came back. So it was the longest recorded wedding night for the couple. So
Very amusing.
such stupidity can happen only in India. Now, to again tell you this secrecy, this feedback, and all these things, I started looking at it from the year 2001. And at that time, there was Yashwant Sinha sitting around in a circular room. They sit down, and there are a lot of people sitting around, each one in three-piece suit, not even two-piece, three-piece suit. So it must have been early February. And the camera was from the rear shoulder of Yashwant Sinha, and the caption said, "Finance Minister, carrying on with the pre-budget consultations with farmers in New Delhi." Now I don't understand which farmer wears three-piece suit. And I, tongue in cheek, at that time I was too young, so I said, which farmer wears suit, and what is this nonsense happening? But this is Delhi. Everybody goes by only the apparent one. They don't bother about substance. So we have to meet farmers, so we will make some 20 people sit, and the same people, maybe even IB officers coming and masquerading as farmers, and the same people will go out and come in as industrialists, same people will go out and come back as service providers, and things like that. So this pre-budget consultation happens after the budget has gone for printing. You must understand this. Second thing is, this happens only to ornament the budget speech of the finance minister.
Yeah.
See, 90 minutes on 1st of February, come what may, we are all fixated to it. All the channels, all the camera, all the newspaper headline. So they think that they are that 90 minutes doesn't even belong to the lot. It belongs to me.
Yeah.
Every finance minister believes that that is what it is. So in this process, what happens is, this consultation, they don't have time, they don't have patience, they don't have the right type of people who will absorb these things. The revenue secretary is not bothered about anything. He is only bothered about part B of the budget to raise revenues. Period. The expenditure secretary is only bothered about expenditure. period. The Secretary for Economic Affairs and Financial Services is only bothered about disinvestment, other things. He would be taking care of only these things. So, point I'm saying is each one has got a silo-like view. They are not looking at the totality. Now, take the income tax returns. We are struggling to upload returns for the last 6 7 months. This was a national disaster. Okay, but the revenue secretary came and told that even at the height of COVID, when people are asking for some postponement, he said, "Don't worry about these things. Don't worry. After all, chartered accountants sit in their house and upload tax audit forms from their homes. Is it so simple? If it is so simple, why don't you allow your driver to also come and upload, fill up the tax audit forms? It is not so simple." So this is the problem that the bureaucracy doesn't understand, and that is why I would always suggest to Honorable Prime Minister, send your cabinet secretary 1 month incognito to some shop. It may be a small restaurant, it may be a kirana store. Let him run that store for 1 month successfully. I'm sure it is easy to run the government of India as a cabinet secretary than being the cabinet running the store or some kirana store or whatever. It's going to be very tough, very tough doing the later. So my view is the bureaucracy doesn't understand business. They don't understand the pain of the common man. They are 38,000 feet above the sea level and they are into their own land. They think that they are giving the best advice. They are doing the greatest thing. And the ministers get overawed because ministers are not fully into the subject. Ministers don't understand that these guys are, after all, people who are highest. They have certain capacity, but they are not Allah, Buddha, Christ rolled into one. So these guys start looking at them with awe. And if you have ministers who don't understand English or Hindi, several states don't understand Hindi, then for Delhi is, you will be sitting duck because Delhi will take you for a ride.
So what Maya is saying, isn't the budget unfair to salaried taxpayers and pensioners who come under the direct tax and pay tax in every purchase? And most politicians as farmers totally exempt. Acreage should be taken for taxes.
Uh, Maya, you have asked a very political question. It's not an economic question. Under the constitution, taxes on agriculture is a state subject. The center cannot tax it. First thing. And all states have a right to tax agriculture, and some states have levied agricultural tax on plantation. They don't do it on your normal food grains and other things. Now, coming back to your issue, if you are going to tax farmers, even this particular question of yours can create a chakka jam in Delhi, and people will start creating all sorts of. Even the Honorable Prime Minister had to buckle. With 303 MPs, he had to buckle in the floor of the House by withdrawing the farm bills, which was legitimately passed by the Parliament. 500, 6,000, I don't know how many thousand farmers created a hullabaloo and they got it cancelled or revoked. Point here is that this government only buckles to those who go to the street, create a ruckus. This doesn't want, they don't want to, especially their supporters. They know that come what may, these fellows will come and vote. I know many
That
of the
is the
viewers,
problem.
they know that you don't have a choice. You have burned the bridges from the Congress. You may kill yourself, but you will not vote for the Congress. They
Exactly.
know it very well. So they know that you have no other choice. So you can do anything with this vote bank. They are committed to pay taxes, but they will come back and like your pet dog, do slap it, kick it. Again, after some time, it will come back.
To come
So
back.
we are all like the pet dogs only. We will be kicked, we will be maimed, we will be insulted, but we have no other choice.
Yeah. Chandrika is saying, how can Bangladeshi immigrants be allowed to creep into various states and their fake documents prepared? Can nothing be done to stop and deport them? And she also has a following point. These illegal Bangladeshi immigrants have got settled in Jahangirpura area of Delhi with the help of AAP and they cast votes for them.
Now you have answered your question by putting the second one. How do they settle? You are asking. Then you are saying that they have got settled with in Delhi through app. If it is app here, if it is PAP somewhere, it is TMC somewhere, it is DMK somewhere, it is JDS somewhere. So this is how it has been done. And I agree with Chandrika Singh that implementation of NRC is a need of the hour. We have to do it. Government did announce, but then CAA, NRC, all these things have again gone to a back burner.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you see any kind of war happening with Russia and America and all, acting tough?
See, today the problem is that all of them are nuclear powers, and don't think nuclear power is any tough technology. People can get the technology by googling, and you can get a. Only thing you have to get that grade of plutonium, which people can get it. Also, there are enough smugglers, enough people who are also adapted. You can even get it. So that itself is a deterrent for war. So two nuclear powers will not go to war. Last time was, I think, in Second World War, we had the nuclear weapons being branded. After which, the Bay of Pigs crisis, the Cuban crisis in the 60s, when Kennedy was there, they were about to go for a war between America and Cuba, with Russia would have backed Cuba, but that did not happen. The reason is that everybody knows the cost of war will be too high. It is only they are testing and testing and testing. And as the German army chief who was here in New Delhi, unfortunately, he lost his job after coming to Delhi. You can see how treacherous is Delhi. Okay, so this guy went on to say that Putin would not is not somebody who's so irresponsible, and that is what I think is the indication that no political leader wants war, because all of them are ravaged by COVID. They are fighting their own internal battles. There's a lot to be done to raise people out of the political mess. So, given this scenario, I don't think so that this would degenerate into a war.
Yeah. Lopa is asking, don't you think there should be a bill on conversion?
There can be no bill on conversion because Constitution allows you to convert. Constitution I think you are asking whether on forced conversion or induced conversion.
Yeah, induced.
I think that should be the right question. Jayalalitha brought a law in 2002 or 2003 in Tamil Nadu. There are some anti-conversion law in some other states. Some states have done it. Some states have withdrawn it. I agree with you. Yes, the states must pass this law, or central must look into it as a very solid law to back up and see that this is a very serious issue. But having said all these things, I will also say one thing you must understand. Abrahamic faiths have conversion is an intrinsic part of those faiths. If you don't try to convert into Christianity, if you don't try as a Muslim to convert others into Islam, you are not part of the Abrahamic faith. That is the difference between those faiths and, say, an Indic faith like us. They are more outward than inward. In India or Hinduism, if you look at it, we look at self elevation is the most important thing. And in contrast, the Western philosophy is to get remedied only through outside. You may be the Pope, but under the Christian theology, you may be doing the most right thing. You may be the blessed soul, but yet you are a born sinner, and you require salvation, and that salvation can come only through intervention of Lord Jesus Christ. I have no problem with this philosophy. I agree with that. Every devout Christian, if he stops with that, I have no problem. But Christianity also mandates, it's an integral part of Christianity, it's an integral part of Islam, that conversion too should happen. You must convert the infidels, you must convert those who are not adhering to this tenets. So it makes laws not only for those followers, it also makes laws for those who don't follow those religions. That is the problem. So if you don't follow me, yet you will have to embrace some of the very serious punitive measures that the Christianity or Islamic traditions hold for you. That is where is the problem. So we have two imbalanced position. On one hand, a religion which is inward looking, which doesn't believe in conversion, it believes in talking to self, Atma Chintan, Atma Nirbhar, or Atma, whatever it is. So it goes about inner recycling of our own faith. Whereas the outside looking, and it always looks at everybody as a sinner. And you have to be redeemed because you are a born sinner, and you have to be converted, and it's an intrinsic faith. So this clash is going on. Now, I don't think so. The constitution has a remedy to it. Perhaps we have to move by probably asking the leaders of all religion to sit down and work out a solution. Because this amount of allured, if I become a Christian, I think none of you are going to object. But if I get allured for, and when I'm sick, when I'm needy, when I'm desperate, you try to convert, then you are not a religion, you are a head count, basically a cult, head count cult. And that head count is something that each one is being funded from abroad. So they are asked to give a tally. And so in Tamil Nadu, if you come over there, you can see the Benthagos would have those many numbers converted. The Catholics have so many numbers. The Protestants have so many numbers. Seventh Day Adventists have so many numbers. So every sect within the Christian religion they have to keep up pace, not only with the other religions, amongst themselves also. So this is a very bad, unhealthy competition that has been unleashed. Unfortunately, the leaders of those religions have to do introspection and come out with a solution.
So Maya is asking, can Lavanya's case not be used to push an anti-forced conversion bill?
See, yes, we don't know. I don't know whether I forgot the name of that movie where Amir Khan acts, and it's about the corruption in the army, where Madhavan also acts, and I just forgot the name. No. This is something else. I forgot the name of the movie, where the death of one person leads to Amir Khan revolting and other things. He's in the is in the Navy or is in the Air Force, and he highlights the corruption.
Okay, it's Rang De Basanti?
Rang De Basanti, yes. I'm sorry, I don't remember these movies. I don't watch them. See, a small event could trigger something like this. Lavanya's case brings to sharp focus the type of coercive conversion being practiced by the Abrahamic faith. Now, this is a fact. Nobody can deny it. In fact, one Era Sargunam, one pastor or a priest in Tamil Nadu said, conversion is our right. Committing suicide is her choice. We will try to convert you. Now, I can tell you one story. It may take a couple of minutes. I will tell you.
Yeah, please.
I was going to Sabrimala, and I was in my, the usual after
black days costume.
Black costume. I was wearing my dhoti. I was not on my shoes, a chappal. I was having my irmudi up my head, and I was carrying the side bag and walking to the railway platform. So I had two nuns stopping me and giving me some preaching material. I looked at it and I took it. Then I thanked them and then gave them vibhuti. From my bag, I gave them vibhuti. I said, this is Lord Ayyappa's vibhuti, why don't you take it? They wouldn't. Then I said, look, you gave me this. Now, why did you give me this? They said, no, we are giving you for Lord Jesus. I said, you know very well I'm going. You cannot have any doubt. Now, you can have a doubt whether MRV is a Christian or a Muslim. But when I'm going to Irmudi, with my Irmudi and all those costumes, with my black dress, without chapel, onto a platform where the train is a Trivandrum Mail, which is going to Kottayam, where we all go. So this is where you stop me. Then I said, no, you must have it. She said, no, I won't have it. Our religion forbids us to wear. I said, then why did you believe that my religion will allow this to be taken? You gave it, I took it. You now take it. Now, by this time, a few people had started gathering, and they started looking at us, and the police came in. The police wanted to know what was this halabulu. I said, there is no halabulu. This lady had given me some pamphlets about Lord Jesus. I have taken this. Now I am giving her vibhuti. She is refusing. He said, no, she cannot, you should not do it. I said, you were there, you are watching this going on since some time. I must not be the first recipient. But you come and now say that I must disburse, and you are saying that she has, no, she has done nothing wrong. I think she has done nothing wrong. But I'm saying I'm only helping her to take this Vibhuti. No, you can't force her. Yeah, why the hell she's forcing me? Sir, don't ask these questions and all. Typical Tamil Nadu police. The point here is very simple. Conversion is a fact. How do we tackle this? It's going to be the billion-dollar question. Both Islam and Christianity is creating a lot of sociological tensions, and it's earlier we address it, it's better.
Yeah. Only one last point. Hema says, to context in society elections, one has to give an undertaking that they have no convictions in the past 6 years. But in the general elections, it appears that people are contesting from prison. And what is EC doing about it?
See, several of these people are not yet convicted. They have been arrested and they are out on bail or not out on bail. So Sasikala, for instance, cannot contest elections for the next 6 years after she has been released from jail. That is, she was released last year. So 21 she was released, 27 only she will be able to contest. That we are clear. But this election for this, your societies also follow the same rule. But there is no bar. Suppose I am arrested by the police, and let us assume Arnab Goswami. He was arrested by the police and he is inside the jail even today. He is not proved guilty. He is not guilty, we know it. But yet there can be circumstances where he can be in jail, like what he was. And it was Arnab who managed to get a bail immediately thanks to the intervention of the Supreme Court. But lesser mortals could still be languishing in jail. So the law is very clear. Nobody is proved, nobody is declared guilty unless there is a conviction.
Yeah.
That till such time they are only accused. Until they are accused, there is fundamental right cannot be suspended.
Amar, just one more. ED has time to ask PB Singh that when Wazir was reinstated, but don't have time to ask why he was reinstated. What do you think about it?
Why do you think that that question was not put to Parambir Singh? All that we are seeing is only media speculation about what are the questions that are. I do not know what are the questions that have been posed to Parambir Singh. I would not second guess that, and I'm sure they would have asked these questions. I know ED very well because money laundering is my forte, and not money laundering laws. So I should be very clear. Money laundering laws, and this. Yes, he must have told the TRP case was a hoax, but he must also have been grilled on several dimensions. All those dimensions, perhaps unless I see the statement, section 52 and 53 statement signed by Parambir on each paper, handwritten by him, we cannot come to any sort of conclusion.
Thank you so much, Emma. The hour just passed away so fast because of the interesting answers and talk. Thank you from the viewers and also from me. And we'll meet you in the next session. Good night.
Thank you. Thank you.